What's it gonna be? How you gonna be? Who you gonna be? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? How you gonna be? Who you gonna be? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? How you gonna be? Who you gonna be? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? How you gonna be? Who you gonna be?
There are 13 energy centers in and outside of your body, below your feet and above your head. They're called your chakras. Your chakras govern your reality. They make your life happen. They're fueled by your subconscious thoughts, your life force, your action, sexual energy that exists in all of us, creating from the vibration that flows within us. Constant, consistent creation, directed by the choices that we make. You have the right to be who you're supposed to be, so what's it gonna be? You are the master of your vibration. Feed your mind for elevation. There is no time for contemplation. The time is now. So what's it gonna be?
I think y'all got it by now. Y'all got it. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know that this is happening like right now. Right now.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna give you guys the Bobby, can you help? I don't know if you'll be able to help him. You probably won't be able to help him. We're trying to get Minister Partlow's trying to come to the class. You know what? You can tell him to just go ahead and call in the 951-821-5899 number. And that way...
I'm sorry, say that again.
951-821-5899. Hola, welcome, Vanessa. So good to have you here. And I'm going to open up the line in just time to mute his microphone, mute his phone when he comes in, or he'll know what to do. So today is who's that? That was fast. Hola.
You know he quick.
Hola.
Welcome.
Quick. He fast. It's Minister Parlow.
All right. God bless you, brother. I'm
God
in your
bless
phone.
Okay, thank you so much. So today is July 29th. It's the 29th. Yeah, let me make sure. I don't want to tell y'all the wrong date.
Correct.
So on the 26th, the Lionsgate portal was open. It's going to be at its peak on the 8th of August, and it's going to be open until the 12th of August. So what is happening right now in the world is very, it just depends on your perception and where you stand. But I'm going to tell you, even if you are in the highest perception of life, you are going to receive a challenge that's going to test you to see if you are ready to receive what it is that you were wanting to receive. Are you ready for this magnitude of wealth and abundance that you have been asking for? You're going to be tested for that. Everybody wants to be an infinitaire and be wealthy and abundant and have this and that and all of these other things. But they don't recognize that you have to prepare for having any kind of wealth. So even when it comes to a wealth in health, an abundance of health, it takes preparation. It takes for you watching what you're consuming. All of these things are important for a manifestation of a life of abundance. But we're going to get to that high energy. We're going to keep it really high today. It's important. It's important to stay high because this is exactly what is like this moment now is creating the next moment. And so, if this moment, you allow this moment to take you in a low vibration, we talked about this last year, except for this year, it's even stronger. That that energy is going to be amplified and it's going to manifest instantaneously. We're watching it now. We're watching how our thoughts are becoming things, and we're watching it right in front of us. And this is what's causing so much chaos, because there's some people that are not recognizing that this energy that's happening is yourself is coming, like you're looking at yourself. You're being shown who you are. You're being challenged to see yourself. And there's some people that are like, nope, no, I don't want to see that. And so if you're not ready to see, you're not going to be able to find the truth in anything. Because this is that time for us to be able to look inside of ourselves so we can find that truth. We got a lot of people talking about what is. We got a lot of people sharing a lot of information. They're sharing so much information that it will blow your mind and make you go crazy if you're not grounded and you don't know and you're not ready for it. There's people that it's like, okay, so there's a video, and I sent this video out to you guys. I sent it out to the whole site, and it was a video that I'm so grateful to I Minister Partlow, who sent us the video about the 1040. And so on this video, it was really interesting, because to me, when I saw it, the first thing that stood out was the verse, and it was titled, and I know that
was it 1040 or was it she explaining?
She was explaining the W4, okay. But that had to do with the 1040 form.
Yeah, it's a part of the process.
Yeah, it's a part of the process. So in that video, it was just this powerful statement, and I don't have it right in front of me now what that statement was, but it was a statement that was just talking about basically us being the
scripture was the verse.
It was Titus 1 verse 7. If you can you find that for me, please? Oh. Titus, just put it on the Google search and it should pull it up. So when the information came, it's interesting because what I focused on, everybody's going to perceive information differently. And because of all of the things that we are connected to, all of the irons that we have in our fire, there's a lot of information that we get. And so there's a lot of information that we know. There's new information that has connected with old information that we had. It's a lot of information. And so I was told, I was inspired to just take a step back and just focus on the information that's coming through me and focus on certain things when I'm listening. And so when I listened to that video, the first thing that came, and that's what our minister was pointing out, is just that Title 1 verse 7 of being the trustees of this land. Because Titus, did I say title?
You said title.
Look, y'all, I am not no theologian, okay? So, but the point is that it was just very powerful in just where we are, in people recognizing that this is our land, that this is our home, all of it, not some of it, not this space over here, not that space over there. It's all ours. But you have to exercise your rights, and you have to know who you are so that you can exercise your rights. One of the things that she said in this video, and, I don't be wanting to push things into people's throats, because, some people watched that video and they was like, look at the lady. Look at the lady. That lady is crazy. That lady is out of her mind. What is she talking about? She's talking about wills and this trust and and so someone who is just not ready to receive the information, they're going to look at something and it's just going to be completely distorted for them. Is that going to rock you? Is that going to sway you? Well, that just really depends on where you are. Are you grounded? Do you know who you are? If you don't know who you are, you will get swept away. Like, that's not even a game right now. This is for real, for real. If you do not know who you are, you will not survive in the transformation that we are in the midst of right now. And it's not a bad thing. Check this out. When people can't take a particular frequency, they're going to bow out, whether it's they're going to take their lives, whether it's, they get into a car accident, or whether somebody will take their lives. But, there's multiple ways that people exit this realm. We just happen to get really super duper emotional on all of them, and we get stuck on the emotion, and it keeps us from learning what's really going on in the evolution of life. And we hide behind the movie screens and we let them tell us what it is. And we get indoctrinated to believe what they say it is. But you know what's so beautiful right now is that everything inside of us, our soul, the God inside of us, which is our soul, right? It is telling us what it is and what it's not. So those of us that recognize what it is, we're not afraid of what's happening right now. We are in complete celebration, in celebration through the midst of challenge. Let me tell you, it is not an easy road, and it's not supposed to be. And every time that you get close to the prize, what happens? You start getting pulled down. That devil starts showing up. Let me tell you that for me, that devil showed up. When we talk about triggers, I'm talking about triggers. Y'all know how I get down. I went through my own hell, as I always do, and get myself out. Y'all know I'm an expert at getting myself out of hell. Y'all know my devil's name is Conchita, and she don't fuck around. Like, Conchita be on my shoulder like, who do you think you are? You ain't shit. Infinity or what? You know what I'm saying? This is what she says to me. And I have to, dance with her a little bit, do a little bob and weave and do a little, ones and twos. And then I have to sit her ass down and recognize who I am and tell her who I am. And, what was so cool about my experience through this process is that when you get triggered, okay, so a trigger happens. And here, I want to share with you guys how I break it down just so that y'all could understand a little bit of my mind.
I don't know if that was the correct verse.
That was not the correct verse. I think I made my point though. Y'all, the video is in the video section. It's the video about the W4. I sent it. Yeah, it was the first thing. Yeah, that was the very first thing she said in the video. Okay, so trigger, the word trigger, what we're talking about today. The word trigger defined is a noun, okay? A small device that releases a spring or catch and so sets off a mechanism, especially in order to fire a gun, okay? And so when we look at it like a verb, a cause, an event or situation to happen or exist. So you see, there are so many people that got their fingers on the trigger right now, and motherfuckers is getting triggered left and right and left all day long. Look, it don't stop, and it's not stopping, but it is a matter of how we are looking at these triggers. We have to look at these triggers as, okay, so my first action, and when I got triggered, my first action was just kind of like defeat. My first action was just like, my first action was like kicking myself's ass. Like Conchita, the devil, oh, she was on my ass. Like she was telling me I ain't shit. She was making me feel like, what the hell are you doing in this world? Why are you even existing? So this is how deep it goes. Right? And so you're in this space where you're questioning absolutely everything. But see, organically, the other side, I haven't named the other side, the angel, the Allah, the diosa, right? Her, I haven't really given her a name. She's the all, she's the everything, right? So she's on the other side and she's telling me, go out, leave. And so I follow that. Just walk. And I walk to my favorite place. My tree is still, there's somebody that's living in that tree, my regular tree, so I can't go over there. So I have to go to my other tree. And so I went to my other tree on a trail and I just sat there and I sat with God. And I just sat and I let all of the thoughts go through my head. I let everything was going through my head. And I knew what was happening at the time. Well, I knew when I say that I knew what was happening at the time, is that I knew I was going to hell. Like I knew I was going to hell because I was triggered to the point of, you know how when you're practicing for something, right? So you practice and you're ready, and then you get in the ring and you get, ones and twos and you block and you slip and you bob and weave and all of that. And so then when you get hit, then for the next time, all right, I know for next time, so I'm going to do it this way. And so in life, it's the very same thing. You're always going to get hit with something, but how are you going to react to them? Are you able to bob and weave? Or when you do get hit, are you going to lose your mind and attack the person? Or are you going to take a breath and calm yourself and think about what your next move is going to be? Because you know that the next move could be in a moment, in a second, everything changes. And in a second of anger or rage, you could do, you do things that you wish you wouldn't have done. And so in life, we're constantly getting challenged, and we're getting taught that lesson of patience, of calm, of redirection, of alignment. And it gets taught to us organically in different ways. We don't have to, pay somebody or go to, different spaces to get this in a school type of situation. Life is the university. Like, this is school. And so when you experience something that you don't like, and you reflect on it, and you recognize that you're the cause of everything in your life, you're the only one that could really change it or do anything about it. There may have been another individual that may have triggered me, right? And sometimes we think when we're triggered, we're like, oh, that person, oh, look at what this person did, and I got triggered because of this person. No, you got triggered because the energy that was given to you by another person, another thing, or whatever it was, it took you out of alignment. It made it to a point where, you got out of character. You know what I'm saying? It's like it took you out of your game. And if it takes you out of your game, whose fault is it? It's not the person. Look, the devil does what the devil is supposed to do. That's why I named the devil, and I call my devil is a her, because it's the most powerful, the woman, right? And so my devil, she don't play. And she gets very, very serious when it comes down to doing her dances, and trying to show me out. And she thinks she's a better dancer than me, but she's not. And I got to show her every time. And so I had to make friends with her. I had to realize that this devil is not going anywhere. This devil is a part of who I am. And all I got to do is sit her ass down when I'm done dancing with her. And those dances are always going to come. Because sometimes she just feel like dancing, and you can't tell her no. You cannot escape her. You got to look her in the eye and do that tango. You know what I'm saying? And so when you look at it in that way, this is something that I had to do in my life so that I could, some people say conquering their demons. Some people say, but in every time that it happens, it goes back to me. Why am I being affected by this energy that I'm being confronted with? Why is it, and then the why is up to me to, I'm saying it's up to me to figure out. But see, here's what happened. When I asked why, I got the answer just by letting it go, just releasing it. And once again, I want to thank my life partner that is always down with me and knows how to work with me and knows how to allow me to be in my hell and just be there for me in support. You know what I'm saying? It gets to a point where you're just like, I don't know what to do. And then you hear, I don't know what to do either. And then it feels good, like, oh, good. I ain't the only one that don't know what to do. And then when you say that and you trust that you really do know what to do, then you know what to do, and all of the confirmation starts coming through. And I want to also say on that day, people don't necessarily have to know every detail of what's going on to send you love and send you energy. So I want to say thank you to Minister Partlow for sending us the energy that we needed in that moment. There was a point where and he was just like, right now, visualize this space that you want to exist in, because it's happening. It's already on its way.
Said some great words.
Yeah. And so, Solution and I was just talking about all of these places that we have created, that we have, that we are existing in, that we are materializing. And it was just a beautiful thing. I didn't tell you this, Papi, yesterday, but when I was on the ground, it was crazy because the first time instance ever, I felt the vibration of the energy. It was this cool energy that was coming down, because I ended up just like laying down on the grass, and, I didn't have a towel or anything like that. And so it was like I was feeling more of the grass than I normally would feel, because usually I would have a blanket or something. And so just being there and laying on that grass, I'm feeling the energy, and I'm feeling it like a woo, 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 woo. Yeah, like a cool energy coming up. It was very interesting, but I forgot what we were talking about. That didn't, then I didn't go back to telling you that. But I just kept getting these confirmations that all is okay. Another confirmation that I got, like sometimes when you get into the worst of your hell, right? When you're in a space where you think that you're unworthy, or where you think that, everything is just going to hell, right? You'll think homelessness is usually the worst thing that people go to. It's like, oh my gosh, I could lose everything and have no home. But when you get to the point in your life where you recognize that as an infinionary, this is home all the time. And you could lay a blanket down on the ground somewhere and that could be your bed for the night. And that is just what it is sometimes. And it's what it has to be every time. You understand what I'm saying? Like if it gets to that point where you got to go there, then that's what it has to be. Everything that is happening in your life is happening because that's what's supposed to happen for your evolution. And everything that is happening, chaotic or not, you're ready for it. Whether you think you're ready or not. Do you know why you're ready for it? Because it's happening. If it wasn't happening, then you wouldn't be ready for it. But it's happening, so don't question the why or the how. Know that right now, whatever is happening right now in your life, you're ready for it. You think you don't got no food, or you think you don't have money, or you think, well, look at what you're thinking. I want to share something else.
I believe I did find the verse.
Thank you.
I don't know if you.
Yes, let's get it.
I believe this is the one that she was referring to. It says Titus chapter 1, verse 7 through 9. Since an overseer manages God's household, he must be blameless, not overbearing, not quick-tempered, not given to drunkenness, not violent, not pursuing dishonest gain. Chapter 8, rather, he must be hospitable, one who loves what is good, who is self-controlled, upright, holy, and disciplined. 9, he must hold firmly to the trustworthy message as it has been taught, so that he can encourage others by sound doctrine and refute those who oppose it. And that's it. I think that she said in that we are the trustees.
Yeah, and that we're the kings of kings. She made something
for God.
Let me see it. Minister?
I have it.
Minister, do you know? Oh, you got it right there?
What? Her
Minister, if you know exactly what that point that we're talking about and you would like to help us, that would be greatly appreciated. Only if you want to.
I believe I have it right.
You got it?
What was she saying?
What she said. Here we go.
If I could just say this, to me, it said, "Be a minister." That's what it said to me.
Be a minister. That's
Hopefully that helps.
Okay. And then we're gonna. What did you want to do in it to play that part?
And I just showed up last minute, no makeup, hair bag. I mean, I just showed up because I felt like I needed to be here, and then all of a sudden here I am. 2 months later, right? So God moves us where we need to be, and the more faith you have, the more opportunities come. So this verse, Titus 1:7 through 9, was the verse that came the first time I was praying, asking God, what is the message, along with all this other stuff. And it says, for the overseer must be beyond approach as God's steward. We are all God's steward. The church is God's stewards. We are the trustees of his land. So not self-willed, not quick-tempered, not overindulging in wine, not a bully, not greedy for money, but hospitable, loving what is good, self-controlled, righteous, holy, disciplined, holding firmly to the trustworthy message as it has been taught, so that he can encourage others by sound doctrine and refute those who oppose it.
Yes.
So this verse was pretty much the sum.
So that's what, when I heard the information, the confirmation that I got is that everybody that is sharing certain information, I have certain codes that I go by when I talk to spirit and when I say, when information is coming my way. And these are like the little codes for me that tell me, okay, this is something to pay attention to. And this woman is working on, you guys got to watch the video. We didn't, I don't want to totally get into all of that today, but it's important to watch it because everybody's going to get something else out of it and what that means. And what it confirmed for me is that Babylon is like fallen, like it's over. That world is done. It is the new world that we're in right now. It is being created right now. The wealth and abundance is here right now, but it's like if you don't feel it, it's not going to materialize in your life. It doesn't matter. Fake don't work no more. If it is not real and organic, and it is not something that you are vibrating from your heart and your mind, and you're lighting up every single energy center in your body and outside your body, it's not happening. If you can't get there, you can't get to God. You can't. It's impossible. And when someone has made their choice of which God they're representing by the way that they move. They don't have to say a thing. They don't have to say nothing. You can see people and you can see exactly where they stand. Now, is it your job to tell them to stand somewhere else? Hell nah. Everybody has to play their role. Your concern is yours, your role. What role are you playing? Because this is your world. And when you're out of here, your world is done. There's new worlds that come and go every single day. It's a transformation of life, and we transform to different experiences, different dimensions in this infinite soul. Hola, I'm Minister SCG9, Precious Sakira. Hola, Aina. Hola, everyone who's listening and is not in the chat. We appreciate you. If you are in the private study and you want to get into the chat, you have to click on the icon with the chat bubble, and that'll get you into the Spreaker chat.
Our Minister Seg9 she was asking who was the woman speaking. I can't remember the woman's name, but she's the woman from the video that we were speaking on. I don't remember.
Yeah, and if you look at our video section, right in the main page of the Master Vibe layer, you're gonna see right down to your bottom. Well, if you're looking at it from your phone, you just got to keep scrolling down to the more you know, and you will see that video right there. So I wanted to express what the definition of trigger was so that you can have it in your mind what that means and how people are operating, and so that you can recognize that it's more important to identify and take accountability for the situation than to try to turn, on the person or the situation that is triggering you and making it something that, you know what I'm saying? It's like right now the focus is you, and everything in the world is going to try to bring you down to a low vibrational level, no matter what it is. Like, it doesn't matter who is coming from, the people that you love, the people that you don't love, the people you see in the street. However, the low vibration can get in because, see, this devil energy that we have in us also is matched and connected to the devil energy that's in other people as well. So if we're vibrating on that frequency, you better believe we're going to start attracting a whole bunch of that frequency onto us. But you know what's so powerful? That just one thought and one moment of asking God to shift that, however you call to God, to shift that energy within you, it shifts immediately. But there are things that you have to do. Like yesterday, I had to move my body. I had to move my body around because what's happening in your body when you're being triggered and you're feeling anxious or whatever it is, then everything is like inside of you is boiling. It's like boiling. So how do you get rid of that? The first thing that you could do, the first method that you do, we learned this a couple years ago. Well, we talked about it a couple years ago. We learned it way back in 2013 from that Anglo lady that I really like her. But the tapping, you start tapping your meridians. You tap your meridians immediately, and that is going to start shifting the energy inside of your system and start redirecting it. And then you have to do your mind work, and your mind work is, I don't want to be here, so take me to another place. If you got to sing a song, hum a tune, whatever you got to do, you have to do those things because you know that those are the only things that are going to be able to shake you around. Like, you've seen people slap somebody. You've seen people like shake somebody down, because this is that organic nature that we have, that your body just kind of knows what to do. Like when people want to punch somebody and punch a wall.
I almost said hit pads.
Yeah, you could definitely hit pads. Look, that's my favorite. When I'm feeling frustrated and I go to the gym and I hit that bag, ooh, I be jacking up that bag. Oh, that bag is everybody and nobody. You know what I'm saying? It's like I get it all out there, and then I always feel better afterwards. That's just like even when we're like women, when they're on their menstrual cycles, everybody has a different experience. And some people will be like, oh, just sit down and lay down and feel it and massage and stuff. I say what I've done my whole entire life, I kept on moving. I would work out. I'd do what I had to do. And I forget about the pain if I was feeling any. I'm not saying that some people don't have severe, cramping. But I'm just a firm believer of mind over matter. And I've taken a lot of pain. I've taken a lot of pain in my life. So I know that anything is overcame by the mind. Can I share something else with y'all? I want to share something. Wait, did I already share what I was going to share? Because we only got about 30 minutes now. I get really excited.
It's interesting when you was talking about the triggers coming, and I was like, they definitely, and it doesn't exclude any type of person. Like, it could be the person closest to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't even know that they doing it. Or maybe they do know that they doing it. But either way, it really is. It could be like my cousin.
Yeah.
Had me. He had me in a little. He had me in a little tango. And I have to acknowledge that. And it is really up to us to be able to step out and to really be a being that is able to advance or evolve.
Yes.
The only way you can really do that is really assessing yourself honestly and really saying, okay,
why am I bothered? Yeah.
What was that? I was literally not where I want to exist. So in seeing those or acknowledging those so-called deficiencies, you can level up. You can evolve. You can advance past that, so you can attain that tool. That skill.
Yes. I'm Minister Solution.
So you got to be honest with yourself.
You do.
You got to acknowledge it. You can't. If you don't acknowledge it, then it's just gonna continue to be that situation that can trip you up.
And here's what happens with that trigger. Sometimes that trigger is the same trigger that's pulled. Like, the trigger ain't been a different trigger at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's
that's when you really,
different.
yeah. And so that's why you do got to check yourself and be like, all right, so what is it that's going on inside of me that's making me panic? Because that's usually what happens when our system starts going out of whack, and then we get angry and we start to, we lose our ability to calm. And there may be, certain reasons for that. Sometimes it's really difficult to get away from the situation, but it's definitely something that is always about self-reflection, and so once we start to recognize that these arguments that we're having with each other is not about the other person and it is about ourselves, it really makes life different. It makes it easier to move around because you start taking accountability, and when you start taking accountability and changing yourself, then your reality starts to change also outside. And let me tell you something else about this ministry. I haven't really been talking about it a whole lot anymore like I was, but it's when you recognize who you are and you start receiving the benefits of that knowing, it starts to change you. And there are some people that will be intimidated by that knowing, by that power, by that strength that you've now attained, and that will cause a conflict, and that will make a person want to debate with you and, make you show them a bunch of stuff so that they could debate with you some more. And, with the information that we share, like, one of the things that I was dealing with, when I was going through my hell too, and I tell you guys this all the time, it's like when you're in a position, when you're sharing information with other people and other people are counting on you for what to do, you know what I mean? It's like, it is a super heavy place to be in, a super hard responsibility, because it's like, and so as you guys know, everything that we have done here in this space, we don't know nobody that's done what we're doing. So we cannot tell you what to do ever. We can only say, follow your heart, do what feels good to you, and do that shit till it don't feel good no more. And then find something else that does feel good. You can't blame anybody else on the outside for your circumstances. It's just not, that excuse stuff doesn't work anymore. And so it's the only way that we do learn. And so even though, because I get excited and I'm just like, oh, everybody should be a minister. And I'm sure that our Minister Partler feels the same way. He's been doing that his whole life. Everybody should be a minister. Yeah. And I believe it. But if you don't believe it and you don't recognize that truth, then you don't know what it is. And you can't come to the party. It's like,
And what's even interesting about that too is it's almost like at the end of the day, you can't question your technique. It's like however you choose to, in being a fighter, say for instance, okay, you have your way of facilitating your skill. You could be a pressure fighter. You could be a counter puncher. You could be a slick boxer. But whatever the case may be, when you step inside that ring, you have to totally be invested and totally 100% confident in wherever you are to, I would say, at least get the best out of your circumstance. Because if you second guessing it, it's really not going to matter.
Lost.
Yeah. It's not going to matter anyway, because if you're not totally invested, you already lost. So even if your skill level does not, or your technique does not allow you to be victorious, you're still going to be putting yourself in your best foot forward if you're 100% invested and you're 100% facilitated in that action, that information, that knowledge.
Yeah, and even if you so-called lose, you still gained in what you learned through that whole process of being able to go through that technique fully. Correct. And you didn't say, oh, well, I didn't sleep all that night before the fight. Oh, I just took this fight a week ago.
That's not help you get better.
You know what I'm saying? It's like those excuses, nobody care. Nobody cares about excuses. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nobody cared. Yeah. And I did want to say something else that's really important because it came. There's something, because recently, one of the things that I was called to do, in my Infinite Inner Ministry is someone needed a vaccination affidavit, right? And so as I was preparing it, I started thinking about the young lady and the system that she was going into. And she came back and it turned out that she doesn't need it. For whatever reason, she doesn't need it anymore. And, it all worked out, but it just took me to a place where I was just thinking about the reality of what everything is. And I stand very firm on this. Those affidavits of your religious belief in keeping you from taking a vaccine, that is temporary. That's only going to be temporary. Because if you truly believe in the Most High, then you're going to know that if you're using that exemption, you're making a contract with that. Something is going to affect you where you're going to be challenged. You're going to be tested like, where you at? Because it's going to be, here's what I discovered. Yeah, you're going into the jurisdiction with what is it they call those cover-ups? Like, when a shield, right? You got a shield, but you're still going into their jurisdiction. And see, that time is over. So this is not, but a lot of people don't have what it takes, or they're not in that place in their life so that they can say, I'm done with the system. I'm going to create my own thing. I know that's, it seems like something so big, right? And it's just easy because this system's already been created. I can go here to their schools and do this and do it their way and do it their way, right? And so each time you're trying to give something so that you could be allowed to be in their system. Can I just tell you that that's not going to happen? Like, do y'all realize, and maybe y'all don't realize, but the blockchain technology is real. And in 2024, they have all of the intention of making sure that everyone is on the blockchain. And so they are luring people into the system through higher education and saying, here, yeah, you can come in and study this. And, oh, yeah, we'll give you this. And you can be this. Here, take this shot. And they're giving you all of the promises in the world because they already know that once you take that shot, that jab, whatever you want to call it, you're not going to last that long. This thing that they call it monkeypox, and y'all know I don't like to talk about this stuff, but all of it is just an illusion. And what they're doing is, I'm gonna take it back, all right, because the illusion has materialized. We'll say that. But what they're saying, they're creating a different story from what's really happening. Oh, so people that have taken injections and different things, different ways that they've contributed to putting foreign particles inside of your body. Those particles, those poisons, that toxicity, whatever it is. And I'm not just talking about the jab either. I'm talking about the food. I'm talking about everything, right? So those things that are coming into your body are now reacting. Now this energy is amplified and it's showing up in people in a whole bunch of different ways. And then they're using what's already happening. They're like, oh, let's divide them some more and say, oh, it's the gay people and the black people, the bisexual people, the LGBT people, whatever it is that they're doing to divide, because they're constantly trying to cause this division. And you have to know that there is no division. And the only way that you figure out that there's no division is when you go inside of yourself and you meet God and you be like, oh, God, what's up? For real? Oh, this is what's really going on? And then you can have a seat in comfort knowing that that's the only place you ever have to go again. Once you go to God, you won't have to go to nobody else. It's really, truly that simple. And all of these solutions outside of you are not solutions. They're just trinkets to get you to buy something or to pay for something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but I'm not going to allow that. See how I got emotional? See how that triggered me? And I got all, excited, and I got to take a deep breath, and I got to woosah. Because I got to recognize that everything is as it should be. And so I have to find my calm in knowing that in this moment, I am the highest that I could be. I am the happiest that I could be. I find comfort in knowing that I release this podcast once it's over, once it's done, and I go back, to my layer and I do my work. And I'm doing my work, not just an hour or 2 hours of the day. My work is being done 24/7. That is a job of a minister. That is the job of us as stewards of this planet, of this land. And so it's easy for me. It's not like a job. It's not like work. The most challenging times is when I have to exit, when my ship is going to another space. When my ship is going to another space and I have to say goodbye to all of those who the frequency doesn't match anymore, because it's not that. I have love for everybody. I love y'all. I love everybody. I do. But I cannot and I will not love anybody more than I love myself. This precious gift of my soul and this being was gifted to me. Now in many, many lifetimes I've existed to have these experiences. And part of the experiences that I've lived in all of my lifetimes has brought me to a space where I can finally, in this lifetime, for the first time in all of the lifetimes that I've ever had, this is the first lifetime that I get to be me. I get to express myself. I get to say what I feel. I get to be who I am. I don't need to, be up under any labels. I mean, we say, I minister, and we are labeling things, yes, so that people could identify what it is. But do I need that label? Do I need a crown? Do I need somebody else to validate me or to say who I am? Absolutely not. Not for a second. Not evermore. And so this is a privilege that I've earned. And so I'm not shy about it. And so I know that I've lost, it's so funny because it's like we can say that we've lost friends or we've lost family members or we've lost, we get into this thing, this emotional loss. Do y'all know that motherfuckers don't go nowhere? Do y'all know that they're in you and outside of you and part of you forever and a day? For all eternal life, forever. They just come in different ways. And if you had a bad experience with them in one lifetime, they may come in another lifetime to mend that bad experience that you had before. Like this goes on and on and on. It doesn't stop. It's forever. And it's always evolving. And we're getting to, experience the truth of it. And it's just a marvelous thing. And I'm excited about it. And so, for the first time in my whole experience since I'm going to say the last 13 years where it's been really heavy of self-mastery and self-reflection, I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for being able to take out all of the gems that were there in the hell that I visited yesterday. I didn't beat myself up for being in hell all day. And we both wanted to make that phone call yesterday, Minister Partlow's call yesterday. We wanted to make it, and it was just like the energy was not there. And we also must know when to retreat. And when we know the power of our energy, there's just no way that I can go into, my brother's house and have it all stinky in there. You know what I'm saying? It's like energy is felt. It's beyond a visual. It's an energy. It's nanotechnology, these little particles that we have inside of us. And oh my gosh, I got to tell you. So a manifestation happened yesterday while I was in that space. So, we've been researching microdosing and mushrooms and different things like that. And so these are thoughts that once you study it so much, it's just kind of sitting in your subconscious mind. And, our son it hasn't been a month in yet, but getting there. And it's been a fantastic and a wonderful experience, which has made us recognize the power of these organic plants that are here, these resources that are here for our healing, especially when it comes to mental clarity and being able to experiment, because that's really what it is. This is something that we've never done before with our son that has a neurological situation. I don't even like to call it a neurological puzzlement that has happened in his brain that some people label as autism, but I don't like those labels either. But the organic tools that we have used, from the Orgone energy batteries to the cannabis to the mushrooms, have been all super healing for him. And it has been very powerful to watch that happen. And not only, those are tools. So please know that those are tools. When you're dealing with someone that has a neurological situation, you still have to try to get through to their mind so that they're able to access their own mind and be in control of their own mind. When you give them the excuses that whatever disorder they have is causing them to do something, and it's excusing something that, is not beneficial, then you are allowing. And so if an individual still have to exist in this plane, God didn't put people here to be deficient. So you just have to find a way, and you have to allow that being to express themselves to you, and you have to be open to listening to them. But we're not, it's like the way that the system is set up. If your child is yelling or crying, you got to beat them. You got to put them somewhere, lock them up, and you got to, give them a telephone or a screen that they can watch. They're not giving people natural, organic healing tools so that we could heal our children, our people. That's not happening. And guess where you're going to get that information? Because you ain't going to get it nowhere else but where. Where is that information going to be coming from, Solution?
You.
That's right. Because you're the book. You don't got to go buy a book. All you got to do is ask God, what do I need to do? Please show me what I need to do to make this situation better. Show me what I need to do to feel good right now. God, help me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but you have to also release expectation of how that help is going to come and open up your eyes to how it's already there. And it's like, for me, this is why I go into nature, because I can get distracted by a bug, and I look at that bug getting their food or just living, just surviving. And then I see that same bug come and get ate by another thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, wow. And then you realize this is life, because just because they're a bug, it doesn't make their life any less than my life. They're having the same experience. They're in their own dimension of what that experience is for them. And so this is how I know I've been a bug and a fly and a tree and a whatever, everything. And so in this lifetime, I use my time to try to connect to those lifetimes that I've had. Look, in my mind, I know how to talk to animals. And I talk to them. I'll talk to them in English. I'll talk to them in Spanish. And in my mind, they understand what I'm saying. They may understand what I'm saying exactly, and they might still be saying, I ain't fooling with you. And that's okay. You know what I mean? It really is about what you create in all situations, and finding life and your ability to be in it, your ability to be, you're the highest force. You're the highest. You are the God here. You are God. God is in us. Therefore, we are gods. Therefore, there is nothing that we can't do, but we have to come to that realization. And nobody can give it to us. We talk about this all the time. Can't nobody give it to you. You got to get it for yourself. I'm going to go through my notes because we got 10 minutes. And okay, this is important because I got to read you guys this. Okay, this is mental transmutation. This is from the Kabbalion. You can say it whatever way you want to say it. Hermetic philosophy by the three initiates. This one is from the Centenary edition, and it reads on page 26. Number 3, mental transmutation. Mind, as well as metals and elements, may be transmuted from state to state, degree to degree, condition to condition, pole to pole, vibration to vibration. True hermetic transmutation is a mental art. The Kabbalion. As we have stated, the Hermeticists were the original alchemists, astrologers, and psychologists. Hermes, having been the founder of these schools of thought, from astrology has grown modern astronomy. From alchemy has grown modern chemistry. From the mystic psychology has grown the modern psychology of the schools. But it must not be supposed that the ancients were ignorant of that which the modern schools suppose to be their exclusive and special property. The records engraved on stones of ancient Egypt show conclusively that the ancients had a full comprehensive knowledge of astronomy. The very building of the pyramids showing the connection between their design and the study of astronomical science. Not were they ignorant of chemistry, for the fragments of the ancient writings show that they were acquainted with the chemical properties of things. In fact, the ancient theories regarding physics are being slowly verified by the latest discoveries of modern science, notably those relating to the constitution of matter. Nor must it be supposed that they were ignorant of the so-called modern discoveries in psychology. On the contrary, the Egyptians were especially skilled in the science of psychology, particularly in the branches that modern schools ignore, but which nevertheless are being uncovered under the name of psychic science, which is perplexing the psychologists of today and the making. Wait, let me go back to that one. Which is perplexing the psychologists of today and perplexing the psychologists of today and making them reluctantly admit that there may be something in it after all. They've been late because we already been knowing. The truth is that beneath the material chemistry, astronomy, and psychology, that is the psychology in its phase of brain action, the ancients possessed a knowledge of transcendental astronomy called astrology, of transcendental chemistry called alchemy, of transcendental psychology called mystic psychology. They possess the inner knowledge as well as the outer knowledge, the latter alone being possessed by modern scientists. Among the many secret branches of knowledge possessed by the Hermeticists was that known as mental transmutation, which forms the subject matter of this lesson. Transmutation is a term usually employed to designate the ancient art of the transmutation of metals, particularly of the base metals into gold. The word transmute means to change from one nature, form, or substance into another, to transform, Webster. And accordingly, mental transmutation means the art of changing and transforming mental states, forms, and conditions into others. So you may see that mental transmutation is the art of mental chemistry. If you like the term, a form of practical mystic psychology, and I like that term because I do consider myself a mystic psychologist. But this means far more than appears on the surface. Transmutation, alchemy, or chemistry on the mental plane is important enough in its effects to be sure, and if the art stopped there, it would still be one of the most important branches of study known to man. But this is only the beginning. Let us see why. The first of the 7 Hermetic principles is the principle of mentalism, the axiom of which is the all is mind. The universe is mental, which means that the underlying reality of the universe is mind, and the universe itself is mental. That is existing in the mind of the all. I think I read that a little weird. Did that make sense to you, puppy? That the universe itself is mental, that is existing in the mind of the all. That the universe itself is mental and is existing in the mind of the all. We shall consider this principle in succeeding lessons, but let us see the effect of the principle if it be assumed to be true. Okay, I'm going to read just one more little paragraph. If the universal is mental in its nature, then mental transmutation must be the art of changing the condition of the universe. I'm gonna read that one again because I want y'all. This is the one that like really sprung out on me. If the universal is mental in its nature, then mental transmutation must be the art of changing the conditions of the universe along the lines of matter, force, and mind. So you see, therefore, that mental transmutation is really the magic of which the ancient writers had so much to say in their mystical works, and about which they gave so few practical instructions. If all be mental, then the art which enables one to transmute mental conditions must render the master the controller of material conditions as well as those ordinarily called mental. This makes me want to like take my shoes off and throw it. Do y'all get it? Do y'all understand what that means? That means that if the all is mental, it all begins in the mind. Your thought creates everything. You can change everything by changing your mind. You can change the world by changing your mind. You don't have to change the mind of the world. You got to change your mind. That's all you got to be responsible for. There's so many people that come onto this world, right? And I'm gonna talk about them ministers and the pastors and the priests that be like, oh, the world is so heavy on me because I must carry my people and I must lead all my people into heaven. And I'm going to show you exactly how to get to heaven. But not once do they ever tell you, and I'm not saying ever because we do got a minister on the line that will tell you that it is in you and that you could do it yourself. But what I'm saying that's not what society could appreciate. No, they call ministers like that crazy. It's like, you must be out of your mind. You got to follow the word of God in the Bible in this way, in the form that they say it. But it's like, it's such a wonderful thing that people are waking up to the fact that, okay, so I can't go to school, but you're going to give me this Bible. You know, I think that people are finally recognizing that. Mm-hmm. And so it's just a wonderful space to exist in. And so much is lifted away from you when you do take accountability and you say everything that is in my life is because of me, good, bad, or indifferent. Okay, we got 3 more minutes. Let me make sure I went down my list. Okay,
providing you the power is what those words do, as opposed to being a secondary, being someone that is in the passenger seat.
Yeah. Staying in. Look at what they indoctrinated to people in the churches. Jesus, take the wheel. Right. Jesus don't want to drive your car. He came and he drove his own car and stood on the cross and everything. He did that. He did that to show everybody what could be done when you make that connection. Because he wasn't tripping. He was like, he went through his pain. He went through his hell. He did what he had to do. And we all got to do what we got to do. And blaming it on somebody else is not going to help nobody. There are triggers being pulled all over the world because everyone's ability to balance and redirect emotions is being challenged. Our spiritual self is merging with our physical bodies, with our physical existence. It is a very bumpy ride. It is up to us to make it flow. It is up to you. The devil might show up more than usual during this time because we are already in a space where our subconscious thoughts are showing up in our experience before the thought is even complete, which causes us to feel the effects of those thoughts immediately. And this is why we have to take a breath and not allow that trigger to make us react. There is no such thing as no triggers or avoiding triggers. That would mean you have to avoid people. Although that is possible, it is not the best solution. The key is to not be affected by the trigger, or better stated, not let the emotion that is triggered control you. There is more power in your mind than in your fist, even though the solution might say something different. But no, he won't. He wouldn't say that. But some would beg to differ. I'm sure they would.
I believe that.
Yeah, you believe what?
I believe it's more power. Yeah, cerebrally in the ring, you are more effective than thoughtless punching.
Absolutely. And then when you're thinking about things, it's that case in point, Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah. Case in point.
Absolutely.
Solution.
It's just case in point solution. He thinks about his moves. He's not going to get bothered. If he gets stung and he gets hit, he's not going to lose his mind like his wife. But I'm not like that anymore. I can take a punch and analyze, my situation and figure out what my next move is going to be. And I got a sting in my punch.
What do you think?
Look, he's saying, so what you mean, so I think?
You haven't tested that.
I tested it in my mind. What you talking about? Shoot. You trying to get me to get in the ring. Let's go. Let's go. I'll accept the challenge. I will accept the challenge. Identify your triggers so that you know what they are and why they are there. Everyone you are experiencing is a reflection of you, but don't take it personal or get swelled-headed about yourself. It is so that you can reflect on who you are and how to balance in yourself the energy that you are not wanting to resonate. Be who you came here to be, no matter what. Don't hide from yourself, because you will leave this realm still lost, still looking for yourself. People strive to a perfection that simply does not exist. We are perfect in our imperfection. It is our right to express that imperfection without fear of judgment. The only judge is you. You are condemning yourself of lifting yourself up. Wait. You are condemning yourself. Lifting yourself up is your choice. I just be writing, y'all. These thoughts just be coming and I just be writing them down. Sometimes I don't understand what the writing after I wrote it. Anyway, okay. Conscious breathing, walking, going out into nature, running, stretching, tapping, yoga, punching. Not a person. Well, you might, it could be a person if they agree to spar. Okay, laying down on the ground, be as naked as possible. And this is important. This is very important. I'm going to share this with you, and I appreciate you guys staying here for a little bit longer. But your body being naked is so important to Mother Earth. Like, it's like hugging the earth. Like, if you have the ability to get in the ground naked, like go to your backyard and just find a place where you could just like hug the earth and let that energy go in through your body, it is super duper healing. And if the best that you could do is have naked feet on the ground, then do that. But I'm gonna give it to you the best way. That's how you came onto this realm completely naked. And so you're able, everything in your body, like, the hairs that you have in your body, all of those hairs are little antennas. So when you are naked on the ground and you're feeling that energy and your antennas are connecting with the earth, it's speaking to you. Mama's taking care of you. She's doing what she has to do to heal you. And in that space and in that time, your mind is just there and it's lost in nature. And in that space, you are healing. You are allowing downloads to come. You're allowing to God to talk to you through the flowers and the birds and the bees and, every experience that you have in the moment. When you recognize that that's God all the time, you just keep finding God everywhere. And I will not say him, it's him, her, everything. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to get yourself into a space of being able to be sensitive enough to feel those things. And that's where your practice comes into play.
Gender doesn't describe spiritual essence.
Say that again?
Gender doesn't describe spiritual essence.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Gender. Well, the law of gender tells us that there is male, divine masculine, and divine feminine, and absolutely everything that has life. Mm-hmm. So then, when we recognize that truth, right, we're able to see that that's what it is in everything, and you start to lose that whole idea of the battle and being better, and right, you know what I mean? It's like celebrate your challenges. Oh, okay, here we go. Celebrate your challenges. Dissect the goodness in you. Give yourself kudos and validation for your efforts. One of the things that I notice when I go to hell, I allow this Conchita to just really get down on myself. And then I start to feel like when I start giving myself kudos and giving myself credit and telling myself that I'm a good person, that I'm valuable, that I'm beautiful, that I'm this, that I'm that, what happens is, it's
positive
just
affirmations.
Yeah, but these positive affirmations also start to feel weird if you're not, so you got to get to the point when you're saying that, that that's the truth. And you're not saying it with a question of, am I beautiful? Am I? You're knowing, no, this is who I am. And I am that I am. You understand?
That goes back to triggers too, being able to be effective.
Right.
It's like, if you truly know where you stand, you truly know the information, the knowledge that you exist, then somebody coming and pushing you or, trying to manipulate you outside of what you know to be true, it really should not have an effect on you if you're grounded in that information, in that knowledge.
Absolutely.
So.
And they're asking me to talk about triggers, because we were talking about triggers in terms of people, maybe, right? Mm-hmm. But we also get triggered by situations and mm-hmm. things that happen that are out of our control, that we feel are out of our control. And then that's when we get mad at God and we would start saying, God, why that's how thou's forsaken me. Yeah. It's like in those moments, that's also a test. And that is going to test your faith. It's going to tell you, that's where you got to go back and dissect what is happening. Because look, the God that they introduced y'all to before that gets mad at you and punishes you when you fuck up, that's some bullshit. You understand? Because the God, the true God, the real God, the forgiving God, the loving God that knows every aspect about you, this God knows your journey. And this God is going to be there for you and with you throughout it all, no matter what you say or how many times you cuss. So understand that when you start dissecting the goodness of what's happening in a bad situation, you are using your power and your energy to start lifting that vibration and bringing that energy up so that then you can start, you're removing the fog off the glasses. You're starting to see clear on how infinite you are. And it's just something that nobody can help you do it. But you, and I'm saying nobody can help you do it. People can inspire you and people can lend a hand, but ultimately is you.
People can provide you the knowledge to walk the path, but you got to walk it.
Yes. Okay, I'm almost down to my notes. I promise there won't be more than 3 minutes. The same is no longer in style. It never was. They just indoctrinated people to believe that everyone doing the same thing, operating the same way, was the right way. Your difference, uniqueness is everything. What is ugly and beautiful, it's funny because I wrote that and then I said, I truly understand the true statement that beauty is in the eye of the beholder because it is. And so I'm going to give you guys an example. And I'm sure that if I was in the regular world like that and I cared like what people said like that, I'd get canceled or whatever. But there's the lady that made Black Lives Matter. You know, the lady that made Black Lives Matter, she has different features. She has small eyes. She has a very wide nose. She's, and her skin is very porous. She has a lot of, you know, her skin is not very good. But she has a beautiful smile. She has a big mouth. She has everything that they have told us was ugly, right? That's what she has. And so even in that, with that, like for myself, I had to, when I first saw her, I was like, ooh. And I did do that, you know, and people can say whatever they want about me for being honest in this moment and saying that. And then it's like, I had to
really made that
on anybody.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's really being honest with yourself.
Right. But you know, a lot of people like to be like politically correct.
Oh, yeah.
And they just be like, oh, but she's so beautiful. She is beautiful when you look at her for who she is and you get to know her and you know, and you switch your idea of what beauty is. Yeah, who said a small nose and this light skin or whatever, you know? And it's like, we have been conditioned. And trust and believe, as a light skinned girl, I also have suffered the discrimination of that side as well. All of our people in all of the world, our white people, our brown people, our Asian people, are my own people.
You light, but you're not light.
Yeah, I'm not light enough for my people. In Puerto Rico, I'm a darkie, okay? So in Puerto Rico, and my hair, my nappy ass hair in Puerto Rico, oh no, it's just, it ain't cutting it. You know, and it's like, and it's unfortunate. And the thing is that in every culture, it's the same thing. I have connected and talked to so many people that have had that same experience. But it's important for you to know that that time is over. You know, it's like you have to, beauty is truly in the eye of the beholder, but the most important beholder is you. How do you feel about you? Look, I'm going to do y'all know? Puppy, tell them who I used to love. Tell them who I used to like and I thought was sexy as heck. Shaba.
I was going to say.
Shaba Ranks. Yeah. And some people, there was a lot of guys that I used to think was cute. But, well, yeah, Matt Damon. I can't believe it. Yeah, he had with that big old chin. But anyway, see, that's wrong. I shouldn't be doing that. But the whole point is that a person can carry an energy so strong in them, so powerful and beautiful that they, you know,
they're attractive.
They're attractive. And look, I have to do this with myself because I'm a 51-year-old woman. And yes, to some people, because, you know, people do that politically correct. Say, oh, you look so young for your age. Oh, you don't look oh my gosh, you look so young. Look, this is what people say when they want something from me, when they want to be nice, they want to make you smile, whatever reason. But my point in that is that you have to be able to see the beauty in yourself. And I have to look at myself and I look at, you know, my face, the drooping and these little wrinkles that show that I laugh a lot, that I smile a lot. And I have to appreciate this me that I am, and you know, and I feel good about me, so it's good. But like, I don't need nobody lying to me. You know, I'm not trying to look like I looked when I was 20 years old. I want to be happy with where I am right now. So I'm always trying to do better and treat myself well. But I'm not afraid of getting old. I've seen my beautiful wrinkly self. They have shown me at over 150 years old with my hair braided and just so many beautiful lines in my skin that it was just like, y'all just don't even, I'm ready for all of it. And so I will say, wait, what did I miss? We have been programmed to believe that our man's standard, that one man's standard of beauty is the only beauty. Difference has always been rejected in society. It is called ugly, weird, you know, and all of these other things. That's what different means to our society. I want to remind you that Lionsgate portal is open. It opened on the 26th. It's going to be open until the 12th. And this is why it's important that you do not let these triggers take you down, because everything right now is being amplified. This energy that we've created right now at this time with each other is being amplified infinitely so that we can receive all of the abundance and all of the great things that are in store for us. I want to say that the number 8, this is Lionsgate number 8, that's the strongest date. The karma power, wealth, infinite strength, inner and outer determination of power. It is the, on the 26th was the moment when time and space was renewed. The return of abundance to the land and the people for another cycle of life was being celebrated. So you know how we've been talking about everything is cyclical. It's our time. The last shall be first. Do not let yourself be fooled by people telling you that you are what you ain't. So I will leave it at that. Do not forget your ancestors. They're always with you. Thank you, I'm Minister Partlow, for sharing with us tonight.
Yes.
Solution. Do you have anything that you want to share?
Remember to take a breath. Everyone experiences emotion. The trick is to not allow the emotion to be your director. You want to move in logic. So that trigger, take your time, take a breath, move in logic, and move in your most beneficial manner.
Let the church say, Ache.
When I feel the sound of music vibrating in me, I take hold of the energy and ride the frequency. My soul makes the melody of my life, so I must sing. Every tune that comes through me brings balance to my being. I have the power to change the direction in me through sound. I have the power to change the direction in me through my mind. I am creation, I am animation, I am the brightest vibrant star in all of the constellations. I am zip, pep, pizzazz, punch, bounce, moxie, mojo, whatever you call it. I am Ache, 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 Ache. Ache, 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 Ache. Ache, 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 Ache. Ache, 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 Ache. Ache, Ache, Ache. 13 Ache, Ache, Ache. 13 Ache. Ache, Ache. Ache, 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 Ache. 13 Ache, Ache, Ache. 13 Ache. Ache, Ache. Trece.